Hey, what's up guys? This is starting to become a tradition whenever I take a short holiday and Stone decides to drop an update to the game. So in case you're wondering when does the next big update come, well, it's probably gonna happen mid-August, because I will be on holidays then. But in all seriousness, we've got the 42.10 release yesterday, and I want to talk a little bit about what has changed and showcase some of the fancy features that the game will offer in this version. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the recent update. I'll start by saying that this update does have a 42.9.1 vibe to it rather than a completely separate version, but I think Stone wanted to differentiate this particular release because of the changes it made to the player map. The patch notes themselves aren't too long, so we're not going to spend too much time going over them. We're just going to focus on the most important features, but before we do that, I want to put our attention into this particular sentence at the very top of the patch notes. Slightly shorter change list for this patch due to various team members working on large-scale changes required for balance, quality of life, and other required features for 42. Does it mean we are getting multiplayer soon? Probably unlikely, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the things they are working right now as part of this pretty cryptic announcement. Okay, so what did change as part of this release? Well, we've got a fantastic quality of life update that I wasn't expecting and I didn't even know I needed it. And that change is adding street names to the map. Now this is something that's gonna make multiplayer so much easier. You know, finding each other in various different locations on the map used to be a hassle. Right now you can just say, I'm at the corner of Goldman and King, and your friends will be able to find you easily. And also the minimap. It did receive a small cosmetic overhaul, which I personally like because it adds more depth and color to the game. What's really great about updating the map with street names is that when you hover your mouse over a street, you can see how big it is basically, and it also increases your spatial awareness. But when you enter debug mode, you can actually change the name of the street, define your own streets. So you can kind of tailor the map towards your needs if you'd like. Want to commemorate your fallen friend or your former character? Super easy. You just change the name of the street, save, that's it. We are also getting a new fishing mechanic, specifically fishing with spinning. I wanted to test it out myself because fishing is a fantastic way of acquiring high amounts of decent quality food, especially at the later stages of the game. I've covered fishing more in detail in this episode of the masterclass, so if you've never fished before, make sure to check it out because I do explain how the entire skill works. But now we've got this small update with the spinning fishing, which works pretty much this way. All you need is just a fishing rod and some sort of a lure. In this case, I am using the minnow lure. And of course, a body of water with bubbles. Then you just cast your set towards the location of the bubbles and occasionally just reel in your bait from time to time and wait for the catch. Now I easily managed to catch my first fish using this technique without any major issues. What I like is they added these little water splashes animation when you're reeling in the fish. What I did notice, however, is that this minigame did get a little more difficult. Now balancing the pressure on the rod became slightly more challenging, so that does require a bit of practice in order to fully master. Had a couple of close calls there, that's for sure, and the character's fishing skill was actually level 6, but eventually we managed to reel in a very decent fish, which would feed us for an entire day. And since we have the fish now, we all know that the tastiest fish is the one cooked over a fire right next to the river where it was caught. And it's the perfect moment to talk about the changes to the fire and smoke visuals. Yet another change as part of the development of Build 42, which I personally consider, that is, well, fire. And in all honesty, I really like the new visual. You guys check it out for yourselves and let me know what you think. I mean, just look at it, guys. This fire looks, trying to find the right word here, more fluid, more natural, I guess more realistic. I don't know, a small change, but makes a big difference. So this is how a small campfire looks like, and now let's have a look at a large-scale fires. The ones we use to, well, clear out certain areas of the map. What I really like is how these flames behave, going from smaller to larger flames in a very short time frame, and it also looks really cool when you're trying to burn down buildings or large-scale structures. Now the patch notes do explicitly say that the only thing that has changed for fire is the visuals. All the other mechanics remain the same, so things will not burn down faster, the fire will not kill zomboids faster, but just from a visual perspective, this fire looks a bit more destructive than the ones we've had before, and I personally really liked testing it. Just remember to always play safe when you play with fire. You wouldn't want your seasoned character die because you accidentally burned yourself to death, right? If you follow my live streams, you'd probably know that I have been pretty vocal about the fact that it's way too easy to kill zomboids with vehicles ever since the ragdoll mechanic was introduced. Now the latest patch notes did mention specifically fixed vehicles killing ragdoll Zeds on the slightest impact, so I wanted to see if that is actually the case, because I really wanted that change to be implemented. But as you guys can probably see, it still is quite easy. In fact, this was the first thing that I was trying to test in 42.10, and it felt so easy I had to double check if I have the right version of the game, because I didn't really feel any difference at all. And I'm also really interested in your opinion about this topic. Do you feel that vehicles are now OP and it's super easy to just use it to commit... I'm not gonna say this word, but you know what I mean. Now the crew that follows my live streams does agree with me, and I'm curious to know, what about the larger community? Is it too easy? Let me know in the comments. Another minor change that was introduced is the way that we will be barricading doors and windows as of 42.10. The entire mechanic has been moved from, well, right click on an object and place barricade into a separate window in the building menu. Now I was using debug mode to film the clips for this video, and I was pressing so many random buttons that apparently I somehow managed to turn off invisibility and God mode even though it was still on, so apologize for that short intermission. Let's get back to the topic. By the way, if somebody knows how to turn off these GPU FPS indicators, please let me know in the comments, because I had no bloody idea how to do it. So as mentioned, as of now, placing barricades is done through the building menu, so just select the type of a barricade you want and place the location of it. And once you do that, you might end up getting an error, just like myself, but that's probably because a conflict in one of the mods that I was using, so I don't think that's such a major problem. The barricade was there, it's just I needed to figure out how to get rid of this screen. Now the last thing I wanted to test before going into the discussion about particular bug fixes and just my remarks on this version of the game was, well, combat. Introduction of build 42.9, or as I like to call it, never skipping leg day again update, made some massive changes to the way how combat feels in Zomboid. I wanted to see if stomping remains the ultimate weapon of mass destruction in 42.10, and also if some of the annoying issues that I found in 42.9, like not being able to hit zombies which are lying on the ground, was improved. Now granted, this is a small sample size and I probably need to play more to determine my final verdict, but subjectively speaking, I didn't sense much difference. Combat felt very similar to how it felt in 42.9, but I am planning on having a live stream very soon in the next couple of days on this new version of the game, and we will see on a larger sample size if the changes were really relevant. You're all welcome to join the live stream, by the way. The more the merrier. I tend to post them with at least a couple of hours of advance, so stay tuned. If that's your thing, I'll be happy to play with you. And finally, let's talk a little bit about the bug fixes, and there were a few important ones. Starting with that super annoying double door, double gate issue, in which when you were opening a double gate, you would actually spawning smaller doors in the middle, making the gate almost impossible to pass through using a car. It's actually what happened to me in one of my videos that I was showing you guys on the channel. Now this is no longer the case. This has been fixed, thankfully. We also got a fix to that really weird bug which was causing our character to make a 90-degree turn whenever they were bumping into something. Now this was potentially deadly, so fixing it was a must-have in this release. And there were also tens of other small bug fixes which I'm not gonna name. I went through all of them but didn't find anything eye-catching, so if I've missed something and you noticed, call me out in the comments. As always, I really appreciate whenever you guys fact check me. Wrapping things up, this entire update does feel a little small to give it a separate number, but my guess is making the map changes was so significant that IndieStone wanted to specifically call it out as a separate item on their list. And I haven't seen too many people complain on Reddit about new bugs. I do, however, know from a good source that at least one save was bricked when this game was updated. So, as always, unstable version of the game, play at your own risk. If you like Project Zomboid and want to hang out with like-minded people, I invite you to my Discord. We are a small community but growing. I am hoping to hit 100 members soon. You'll find tons of interesting things and a really helpful and open community. Also, live stream schedules, video ideas, you name it, it's probably there. So join the gang. The link is in the description of the video. Thank you for watching the video. As always, if you like it, let me know by leaving a like or dropping a comment. If you're not subscribed to the channel but you're interested in more stuff that I do, click that red button. For today, that's everything. Guys, as always, I'm Gertrix. Cheers!